All right, guys, yet another amazing transformation story. And I like this one especially because most of you guys are on a journey. And Cindi, if you looked at her pictures, she was on a journey. And this was like a 5-year journey. And so today we're going to just chat with her about like, how do you get started on a 5-year journey and continue to just do the work and not be like those what the fuck moments in the mirror. So Cindi, how long have you been a Savage Girl?
5 years, just over.
And when you joined, was your ultimate goal to compete, or were you just joining for fat loss? Like, what was your goal?
Ultimate goal was, I finally said I'm going to do it. I had said for years I want to compete. So finally I said, let's do this.
Awesome. So you said I'm going to compete. You show up. We were like, all right, great, you can compete. Did you say to was your first show within your first year of signing up?
Yes, I signed up February and I competed in June.
Okay. And then you did your first show and then you clearly got hooked.
Yeah.
And what did you say, like, was your next goal? We all join and we're like, okay, I want to do a show. Then you do a show and you're like, oh, this is so much fun. So what was that next goal for you after you did that first show?
It was simply to just do it again. I remember my call with Kathy following the June show. And when I had signed up for Savage, Nicole Rich was my coach. And when I first signed up, I said, all right, I'm going to do this, but I'm not doing anything. There's no way I can compete until the fall. Don't even talk to me about a show until the fall. And she goes, okay, because she knows me. Nicole and I have grown up together. And so she said, you need to go to Camp Savage. So I went to Camp Savage, and on the way back from Camp Savage, I'm texting Nicole in my car, I'm going to Miami in June. She goes, yeah, figured that. She knew what would happen once I hit Camp Savage. So I did that. I went to Miami, 500 competitors, but whatever. And I was like, this is great. Let's just do it again. And, my goal has never really been, I have to get a pro card. I have to get first place, no matter how many competitions I've been in. Yeah, that's great. Yay, if that happens. But there ended up being, my initial to compete was, can I do this? Can I actually get there? And then it was like, yeah, well, how much better can I get? Right. And, you have to realize, and Kathy always said, and that was what I really took from, one of the things I took from my first Camp Savage was, there's no finish line here. It's not, playing softball, we have 10 runs, you have 8, win. That's how it works. It doesn't work like that in fitness competitions. And so it was sort of, that to me took the pressure off for me, because it was just, it was me against me, and how hard am I working? Am I following my plan? Am I listening to my coach? And I'm going to show up and just do what I'm supposed to do, because I didn't know what to expect. So I just did what I was told to do and see what happens.
And it's so funny, like so many times, like we want people to come in with that attitude of like, you're coming into a completely different world that just does not exist outside. Right. Like there's no book out there on competitions that it works for every single person. And so many people want it to be like, if I wanted to run a marathon, I could go down to the nearest bookstore and pick up a book, and it would be 12 weeks to a marathon.
Yeah.
And, I liked how you said you just took off the control and said, I'm in good hands.
Yep. That's exactly it.
So you go to Miami, you're like, this is awesome. What was the next thing for you to, was your next goal? Like, okay, did you want to put on more muscle? Did you want to get like better with posing? Like what was like the next goal you had after you came out of Miami?
So it was kind of twofold, because in Miami, I competed in bikini. And I remember, again, when I joined, I said to Nicole, listen, I'm a big girl, so I should do figure. And again, Nicole rolls her eyes at me. I can see it in the email, rolling her eyes, going, okay, you're a big girl.
Right.
And so that was what I thought. And she said, no, you're going to do bikini and you're going to do fine. And so I said, okay. But really, years and years ago, when I used to watch the ESPN
Right.
fitness competitions, and that was when I said, oh my God, I've got to do that. And
Right.
I wanted to do fitness, that I wanted to do the fitness category. So that was my original, when I joined, I'm going to start in bikini to kind of get my feet wet, get onto the stage, see what that feels like, but I want to do fitness. That's where I want to go. So that first year was just, let's just get on stage and see what it feels like to be on stage. And so I just did bikini for the spring and the fall, but knowing that I still wanted to do fitness. And so going into my second year was when I said, all right, getting music, getting a costume, worked with Stacy to do fitness and bikini. But when I was in Miami, I got to sit in the audience and watch figure, which I had never, ever seen before. The only thing I'd ever seen again was ESPN, the fitness part of it.
Right.
And I was sitting in the audience with my husband, and out comes Michelle Welcome, and out comes Kristen Vermillion. And I just looked at him and I go, that's what I want. and my husband's awesome. And he was just like, sweet, let's do it. What do you need to do? And I knew that ultimately after fitness, I'm going to do fitness. That's where I'm going to go. That's my next step. But right. I want figure. I want that muscle. And so I had in my mind built these future goals for my next step was going to be fitness, but I'm going to get to figure. And I didn't know how that was going to happen because I've been, strong and solid, but I don't have I'm going to say it, I don't have the genetics that shows that figure body all the time.
Right.
Which makes you think, well, I can't do that. But no, you can. It's just the work that goes into it.
Right.
So when I did fitness, I was surprised at how lean and muscular I actually got by doing fitness. So that sort of helped boost me and go, all right, you really can do figure. You're just going to have to put in even more work than what you've already done. And then so I just kept going.
So, and I know you did, so you only did fitness for 1 year and then you started the build to figure.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how long did it take you to build from fitness to figure? Did you take any time off? So you took 2 years.
I did 2 shows, 2 bikini in my first year. And then the next year I did the fitness and bikini. And then I took 2015 off and I just ate and worked out and sort of in my mind saying, I don't really know. I loved fitness, but it did take a lot of extra time that I just didn't have. And so I knew that I couldn't continue with that, but I wasn't willing to stop competing. And bikini didn't feel like home to me. It just didn't feel like me. So I just said, I'm just going to keep working towards figure. And then 2016 came and Nicole ended up, kind of retiring from coaching. And I went over to Jen and she messaged me and said, okay, it's, me and you, what are your goals? I said, I want to do figure. She said, let's do it. So that was all I needed to hear.
So, and it's funny because it's like a lot of girls who, want to go that true figure path and they're told, what, to really, really do this, you have to take a year off. Were you like bummed? Were you like, hey, if this is what it takes, this is what it takes?
Yeah, that's exactly, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? Tell me what I need to do and I'm going to do it. And if you tell me I need to take a year off, I'm going to take a year off. And then I've got that focus. And I even did that I was so used to, in 2016, I did 3 shows. 2017, I did 2 shows, but I kept, I was competing now in figure and I just felt like I couldn't build anything. So talking to Jen, we just said, all right, taking another year and just build. And it was, what do I need to do to put more muscle on? And, I don't think it was all that hard because I knew what my ultimate goal was.
Right.
And so I just kept kind of focused on that.
So for you, you were like, I know that I want to go to California. In order to get to California, I got to save my money and I got to start saving because I want to get to California. And that was just like your goal. Every single time you walk into that gym, you're like, this is just one step closer to my ultimate goal.
Exactly. Yeah. Whether it was the gym or the food, I knew that those were the keys. And, this is what I have to do. So this is what I'm doing.
So now, as you as you took the year off, did you set any like mini goals? Was it performance goals? Like what was it, other than that long-term vision? Because some people can have that long-term vision, like I'm going to be on stage and I'm going to look like a rock star, where other people are like, I don't know. It's so far away.
And it's funny you say that, because I thought, am I going to be able to focus that far out? Because I've never been able to do that. I'm a here and now person.
Right.
And
most people are.
whatever's coming in 5 minutes, I'll worry about it when it gets here. That was kind of even the hardest thing just in competing altogether, was having that patience to get to that goal, whether it was 2 months down the road or a year. But I had tried to set mini goals back after June of 2017 last year, but I went from living with my mom. I competed in Miami, living with my mom because we sold our house, built a house, moved into our house, got in a major car accident, had to get past the mental of that, buy a new car. There were so many things that distracted me from the fact that I didn't have another competition for another year. So it kind of helped me go, not sit there and think, oh my gosh, it's so far away.
Right.
It was
you had so much life going on that you're like,
Yep. That it was kind of a relief that I didn't have another show sort of in the fall, because I don't know if I would have been able to focus enough for that.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, you're also smart that like a lot of girls will have a lot of life going on, but I still have to compete. And we're like, why?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I was ready to just let life take over. And, if all I have to do is eat and work out, I can handle that.
Right. That makes life so much easier versus like thinking about like, oh my God, now I have to pose and I got to figure out my outfit and my tanning.
Exactly.
So, so as like here you are, you're just building, and then like, you have this like figure body, you're like, holy shit, I finally like hit my ultimate goal. What keeps you still going?
Because I know I can be better than I was yesterday. Being able to see the progress that I've made in the 5 years that I've been doing this keeps in the back of my mind saying, you're doing great and you're great where you are, but you can always be better. And so knowing that, and the curiosity,
right.
I love, my history, anatomy and physiology is what we studied in school. And so the fascination that I got hooked on from competing, the very first competition of what your body goes through and does.
Yeah.
That I'm just so curious to see what's coming next, because every competition's been different. Every body has been different. Everything has been different every time. And so I'm super curious to know what's going to come in June,
Yeah. It's funny. And because you're such like a body geek like we are, like you can have that patience because you just be like, oh my God, it'd be like, it's like Christmas, like opening up a package and be like, what's it going to be like? Yeah. And it's true, because as many times as we tell girls, like show 1 and show 20, you're going to have a completely different physique. And it all goes by, how much effort and time did you put in? How many years have gone on? How much muscle maturity do you have? Did you have a good prep or did you have an okay prep?
Right.
And will all determine what shoots out on stage.
Yeah.
So
it's awesome.
Yeah. So it's like you have to be patient, but also like be kind of into a body geek to see what is happening. And now, as you've had these like 5 years of time, have you now gotten to the point that you and Jen have like, I'd say more like consultations where you're more having the like, this is what I'm thinking. And she's like, yeah, this is what I'm thinking, so that because you've done it for so long, now how your body responds and you're kind of like, hey, this is what's going on. Should we tweak this? Should we tweak that? Is that how you've got?
I still take, I guess no, because what I use Savage sort of as a way for that hour to 2 hours out of my day that I don't have to think about anything. I don't think about anything.
I know, you have a big job.
I just show up I pull up on my phone, okay, this is what I'm doing today. And I mean, the workouts are the same for a month. I show up every week not knowing what I'm doing on Monday, even though I did it the past 3 Mondays.
Right. You're like, hey, wait, what's it?
Yep, exactly. I take my mind completely out of it. It's what I needed when I joined Savage. After my dad had died, I was just like, I was just crazy, and I needed somebody. You're so busy taking care of your kids and your husband and your home and your work and everything else. I just needed 1 hour for someone else to tell me what to do. So to this day, I send my check-ins to Jen. I give her my feedback of how am I feeling,
Yep.
What's gone on, any challenges, any questions I have. But I probably will never go to the, do you think we should? Or what about this? And do you think we could do? Nope, here it is. You tell me what I need to do and I'll open it up, and that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
So.
It's so funny. I like that because, I was a client for 9 years. And so as you're going through, you telling, I was able to tell like how I was feeling based on like what I was eating. So it was like, I was able to say, you know what, I upped my vegetables because I was feeling hungry. So that it was like where a lot of people don't tell you those things.
Yep.
In your check-in, where it's like, you're like, no, I was feeling hungry. And I remember last time I had like 3 cups of broccoli and I felt really good.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, I do. That's been probably, I'm not a big sharer.
Right.
And I tend to, it's this whole process has helped me really become more aware of myself and my thoughts and my process, and, realizing how much I keep to myself and I try to take on my own versus putting it out there. And then it's like, oh my God, I feel like I just lost 15 pounds just by putting that out there, and that's really helped me to be able to come out and say, and that you do this isn't about suffering.
No.
You shouldn't keep your mouth shut because feel like you're starving. You need to go back to your coach and say, I'm really, really hungry. And for a while I was like, oh, I'm supposed to be hungry. So I'm just not going to say anything. And then I realized, no, I need to let you guys know that. And sometimes, you need to be hungry. I mean, I was going on a backpack closer to a show and Jen's like, you're just going to have to be hungry, So,
right. Because you're like, your output and your input are a little off track in that hike. So sorry.
Exactly. But it's been a very self-awareness journey. Definitely.
Oh, for sure. And I'm like you, like I was not a sharer. I was like, I gave you the facts. And then, but because I saw them on Sunday session, I was like, oh, you see me on Sunday. Like, and finally she's like, for the love of God, I need more information. And so for those of you guys listening to the replay, give us more information. That way it gives us more stuff to talk about. Because I think about it, you and I were having a conversation. I asked Cindi a question. She said, yes, no, yes, no. That'd be a pretty freaking boring interview. But like the more like I'm not asking you to tell me like I woke up in the morning and then I did this. No, I don't need that level of detail. But like if you're hungry, I need a food log, because then I can look and be like, oh honey, you're not eating enough, or oh, you ate at 1 and then you ate again at 7. Of course you're hungry.
Yep. Yeah.
So what I like about you is that you had a methodical approach. You said, let's just do this bikini thing, figure it out. And then you're like, it was like me. I'm like, I need to do fitness, but I'm like, I don't know how to walk. So I can't think about flipping around until I can learn to walk.
Yeah. And that was my response back to Kathy in my very first response. She's like, in my very first show, and she calls me and, how do you feel? How did you do? I go, I didn't fall. She goes, that's it? I said, yeah, I didn't fall. Like, you put me in 5-inch heels, I didn't fall. Winning right here.
Right. You're like, I made it off stage unscathed. Like, trophy, please.
Exactly.
Yeah. So I love if there was like a methodical approach, where I think so many girls go in, and I don't know if like it's the Instagram or Facebook now, that it's just, you see so much stuff that comes at you that you think that you should be so much further ahead than where you are, versus, as you said, and I absolutely adored, was I better than yesterday?
Yep.
And that's the only judge that you can have.
Right.
And I always, like, when my girls are struggling, I always say to them, like, every night, look in the mirror. I'm like, when I'm brushing my teeth, I'm like, did I do everything I could possibly do today?
Yes.
And it's a yes or no. There's no beating the shit out. It's like, yes, I did.
Yep.
Or no, and I pick one thing I could have done better.
Right. Yeah. And I think you're right on with the whole social media, Instagram. You see the people with their selfies from up here and their twisted bodies. And it's like, okay, well, first you're looking at somebody, you can't compare my body to your body to Jen's. You've got to look at your body as it is and not go, oh, man, I should look like that. And it's like, no, you shouldn't. You should look like what you look like and understand one. I remember 2016, I think I did a pre-tan and a post-tan picture.
Oh,
and I put like for abs, and I'm like, no abs, no abs.
Night and day. And
put a tan on me, and yeah, I've got muscle.
And it's so funny because, like, everyone will look at Jen today, and I was like, well, you should look at Jen 10 years ago, because she's been working at that for 10 consecutive years. So what are you going to look like in 10 years if you are consistent?
Right. And that's I remember seeing a picture of Nicole Wilkins.
Oh, yeah.
One of her first, because you see what you see now. And when I first started competing, I'm seeing them like, oh my gosh, she's amazing. And then I saw her, holy cow. Yeah. I was like, and it really, really, really opened my eyes to say, what you're seeing today is not, there are very few people like my friend Gwen who walk around like that.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Like that. She's always like that. The girl.
And also, like, she can eat whatever she wants. And then you're like, oh, it shows tomorrow. Hang on.
Yes. Exactly. Let's go do it.
Right. Yeah. But like Nicole Wilkins, I remember when I first started, it was when she probably was like maybe a year or two ahead of me. And she was like, compared to what she looks like now, let's say soft.
Yep.
And then she could pose that made her look like she had a different body. But like over the years of consistency, like now I'm like, is she chiseled?
Right. What's going on over there?
Right. But it's like, it's really hard to paint the picture of consistency. And so I liked how you showed your picture of like, this is how I showed up. Like, I was not a figure competitor. I was just a girl who wanted to compete.
Yep.
And I took the time.
That was it. Yeah.
So this was awesome. I know Monique and Kathy are on the line. If you guys have any questions you can ask in real time, let me know and I'll unmute you, or you can unmute yourselves. But if not, I'll wrap this up. And we have Katie Veazey next Wednesday. Katie Veazey is next Wednesday. And she has a very similar story to Cindi, where she took one solid year off to just build and eat like a mofo. All right. So see you guys next week. Thank you so much for your time, Cindi.
Thanks, Kim. Bye,
You're welcome.
everybody.
Thank you, Cindi. Thank you, Kim.
Thanks, Kath.
Bye.